Our meeting to order. Welcome everybody here. Today's February 17th. Hope you all had a very nice long weekend and enjoyable weekend. I've asked Sheriff Allred to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If everybody would please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Sheriff. Do we have anybody online? Welcome to those online. I'd like to recognize our interim city manager, Mr. Bejarano. Thank you for coming today. If we could get a motion to approve our minutes of our regular meeting and work session held on February 2nd, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Could we get a motion to approve our demands and handwritten warrants?
Yes, so moved, Mr. Chairman.
And I'll second the Supervisor Howard's motion.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We'll next hear from Sheriff Allred. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, gentlemen. So, yeah, we've got like 4 or 5 items today. The first one, and luckily, most of our things we're talking about, we're not asking for a whole lot of money today. We're asking if we can accept grants and accept money.
We like that. We like that.
So our first one is, yes, we're wanting to apply for the Arizona Criminal Justice Commission Drug Gang and Violent Criminal Control Grant, Crime Control Grant. And there again, this is something we have had for, it's an ongoing grant.
Read the background information in the packet. Is something we've been grateful to have to supplement our funds for the Sheriff's Office, helps them with their efforts. And I believe that there's a distribution to other entities, is that correct?
Yes.
So we're end up getting the grant, and then we share as the needs arise. And so this is has impact not only for us, but for other law enforcement in our county area. So I'm in favor.
No comments here. I'll just go ahead and make a motion to approve for the Arizona Criminal Justice Commission 227 Drug Gang and Violent Crime Control Grant.
And I'll second the motion.
All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. The next one will be our approval to apply for is 2027 Governor Office of Highway Safety Grants, DUI enforcement overtime, and a step enforcement overtime, which the DUI is pretty self-explanatory. The step is, it's one that works on, where we get money to where we can send people to work on speeding type details. Yeah, where we have complaints of a lot of speeders, things like that. Yeah, so we have money for overtime for guys to go work on that kind of a detail also.
Great.
Sometimes it's hard to make sure we have the guys to get on the detail. Yeah. They're not covering the shifts, but when we have them, we're good to go.
Yeah, you got a great crew, and we appreciate what your guys do. We get some of the alerts for the things that are going on in the county, and I would never want to be a cop. So kudos to your guys. They're brave men and women, and we appreciate.
Thank you. We appreciate
having them. Any other questions?
I do have one, and that is being down 3 deputies, being shorthanded 3 deputies. I'm guessing that this, because we're shorthanded, that makes it even more important to have the ability for overtime for some of the details. Is that a correct assumption?
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, our guys, they're covering shifts, number one, of course. I mean, doing the job that they got hired on to do. And then with this other monies like this, yeah, it's if they're not covering a shift, and then what makes it nice is when we do get requests or different things happening here in the county pertaining to those types of things, some of our holidays, like for instance, for the DUI stuff, they can work that extra shift to help, you know, alleviate some of those issues, some of the speeding stuff in some of the neighborhoods. We've been able to use that also to where, and of course, again, where it's not the county that's having to fit the bill for that, we're able to get a few dollars out of it. And we can put somebody extra in neighborhoods for a little while. But our, of course, our number one deal is we cover our regular patrol shifts. And then this is just an added extra if we can get it.
Thanks. Lots of things to like about it.
Thank you for keeping our highways safe, Sheriff. Appreciate you. Go ahead and make a motion to approve the 2027 Governor's Office of Highway Safety Grants, DUI enforcement and step overtime.
Second Supervisor Howard's motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you. Our next one is it's for a purchase for an unbudgeted capital. It's one of the tough books, a computer that goes inside the vehicles that our deputies drive and that they use. This tough book is $3,500. Some of the tough books that we have now, going through with our IT department and stuff, they're not compatible with new programs, things that are coming out. So we're just trying a little bit at a time to keep up with the paces right here. And this tough book, I think it's gonna come out of our investigations funds. And part of that is because that investigator that's gonna get this particular tough book right here, he's one of those guys who will go out and work some of the other details also. And he needs that information available ready for him in his vehicle. And so he needs to be able to have that tough book in his vehicle with him.
Chairman, unless there's other comments, I'd make a motion that we go ahead and approve this purchase of this tough book. And I understand the reason is we had budgeted enough money, but they raised the cost almost $500 per tough books, which then we had to come back to the well to get a little more money. So that's my motion to approve.
I will second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. My next one is am I just hearing stuff? I thought something backfed on me right there real quick. I am getting older, you know. So anyways, my next one will be we're approval to apply for an intergovernmental agreement between DPS and the Graham County Sheriff's Office. It's for $100,000 for strict enforcement of immigration, human smuggling, drug smuggling, gangs, employer sanction laws, as well as jail reimbursement costs relating to illegal immigration. As you can see, this $100,000, if we just touch a little bit in each one of those things, it won't take long to spend that kind of money, you know. And that's not all of it either. It can also go for some type of equipment type stuff. It can be used for many various things, but those are the kinds of things that it ties us to.
Okay. Questions?
Very worthwhile. $100,000, like I said, doesn't go very far, but it goes for a lot of good enforcement to do. So if there's no other comments, I'll go ahead and make a motion as stated, as written.
And I'll go ahead and second the motion, and with the comment that this is basically a reoccurring funding. This is not federal funding that's coming for immigration. This is the state money that's coming to just basically bolster and support our law enforcement and what they've always done.
Thank you.
That's my second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
And sorry I didn't mention those things on that last one there. And our last one is the Stone Garden, the Operation Stone Garden that we've done for many, many years. And well, it's a yearly type thing that we do. It's for $70,000. That helps with the overtime of our deputies that are out working the Stone Garden shift. But there's also a percentage of that money will come back to the county for like the fuel and stuff like that on our vehicles as they're being used during this shift. And so anyway, that's what we're asking for in that, and it's $70,000.
I know this money's used for Stone Garden, but having those officers out farther out of town where they normally sit for this definitely helps with our traffic situation towards San Jose and also towards the Fort Grant turnoff area. definitely slows people down, so it helps us to be able to make a good presence out there too, so.
It helps with a much greater presence for sure.
Yeah, I support it.
And this is a partnership between all the entities, isn't it? The other
Yes.
other enforcement agencies? Yeah, it's a great program. I appreciate it.
And thank you, and I would just finish by saying this is an agreement that's already been made. It's just approving the, almost like ratifying, it's approving an agreement that's been inked, and great to have the funding and the support for our law enforcement. I'll move that we approve the subrecipient agreement for the reallocation operations Stone Garden Grant Program overtime mileage between DPS and our Sheriff's Office. I'm sorry, this is Department of Homeland Security and Sheriff's Office. Thank you.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
You bet. Next, we will hear from our treasurer, Cindy Orr. Good morning, and thanks for being here.
Good morning, gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here and present to you offers for 2 more tax deed parcels out in the Siesta Hot Springs area. This offer is for the full amount of taxes, fees, and costs for foreclosure on the parcels. The parcel numbers are 109, 59029, and 030.
Great.
Our fearless warrior. She comes through all the time for us. Appreciate you, Cindy. I'll go ahead and make a motion if there's no other discussion for over-county tax deed for parcel 109, 5909, or 029, and 109, 59030.
Please do a second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you,
you.
Cindy. Next, we'll hear from Brian Douglas with our Health Department. Thank you for being here, Brian.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're requesting permission for out-of-state travel for Hallie Shoup, who is our WIC director, to attend the National WIC Association Annual Education Conference in Dallas, Texas on May 27th through the 30th. And by attending this conference, Hallie will obtain her CEUs for her registered dietitian license and her certification.
Great. We recently had a work session with Brian and Hallie Shoup, and what a great job she's doing with WIC.
Absolutely.
And just proud to have her on our team. She does a great job.
Yeah, I think we only have 2, that I know of, 2 registered dietitians in a 60-mile radius, and we have one of them.
Yeah.
And we're very blessed.
Yes, we are.
You can tell she's very dedicated and passionate about her work and knows what she's talking about. So we're very lucky to have her.
I'll move that we go ahead and approve the travel, out-of-state travel for Hallie Shoup for WIC, a WIC conference.
I will second it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Brian. Next, we'll hear from Cindy Norris Blake with our HR department. Morning, Cindy.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
The request that we're bringing to you today is to approve a salary and position reclassification of the Sheriff's Office Assistant position to a Sheriff's Office Assistant, a Sheriff's Office Accounting Clerk with the Sheriff's Administration. Recently, the person that resigned had been fulfilling the duties of taking care of payroll entering, creating the purchase orders to pay the demands. This has really evolved into more of a finance position. So we had time, once this person resigned, to review the position, and that's why it's mid-budget year we're coming to you, because we want to make sure if this is approved that the position is advertised as what the duties actually are.
Okay.
No problem.
Questions, concerns?
It's a big jump, 10 to 14, but I understand the need. And if you want to recruit talent, you've got to pay for it, and that is critical. We've seen with Auditor General's office and other counties that it is so critical to run a tight and clean ship and have good audits. So it's a big jump, but it's needed. So I would go ahead and make a motion that we approve the salary and position reclassification for the Sheriff's Office Assistant from a 10 to a range 14.
Be glad to second it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Cindy. Now, next, hear from Manager Welker.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This next item is a project that the board asked us to put together and present to you. It's something that we've been talking about a couple years. We talked about it during the budget cycle, but weren't able to put a project together in time for that. So we're bringing it to you now. One of the projects that goes hand in hand with this is the project to insulate the ag building, or at least the eastern side of the ag building. The west side is already insulated, but we have slowly been making upgrades in there. We were able to pour a concrete slab in there with the help of livestock and our sportsman club. And once we get that insulated, we just keep making it a little better and a little better. Probably over a decade ago, the livestock raised some money to put 2 very large fans in there, and they sit at 2 of the corners in the building. This project that we're proposing would add 2 more large fans in there, so there'd be these fans in each corner of the building. This is an old facility, like a lot of our facilities, and it needs some upgrading on the electrical as we look at doing this. So one of the items that is included in this project proposal is upgrading all of the halogen lights to LED lights, and that's on both sides of the ag building, the east and west side. Upgrading all of the exterior lights around the building to LED lights. And then these panels are pretty old, but they are still serviceable. We had 3 different electricians look at them, and they all agreed. But the breakers do need replaced in both of those panels. There's panels on each end of the facility. So this includes replacing all of the breakers. And we've never had light switches in there. The only way to turn on the lights is to flip a breaker, and as you know, every time you flip a breaker, it lessens its life a little bit. So this includes putting all of our lights on light switches, including the 2 heaters that are in there would be on light switches as well. And then all of the outlets in there, to bring them up to code, need to be swapped out to GFCI outlets. So it include that too. So it's pretty extensive, but also very much needed. The ag building is probably the largest facility in Graham County. It gets used for all of the largest indoor events that happen in Graham County. And now that we have that east side concreted in, it's been used even more and more. We've already seen Battle of the Band switch over to there, and they loved it in there, especially, it's July, it's hot, and it worked out really well. So I think this is a great project. We did get local bids, and this isn't to approve those bids. That would be under $75,000, so we can do that without board approval. But $55,000 would cover the cost of this project. So we're asking the board to approve an unbudgeted capital project for the ag building for the amount not to exceed $55,000.
Great. Thank you, Manager Welker. I've personally had the opportunity to flip those switches in that building, and I'm really excited to see this upgrade.
Well, it's not only a upgrade for citizens and making the place an easier and more a better facility, but it's also a great safety feature that we need to do to upgrade that. You was mentioning all the things that's happening out there. We just had that big Matheson Music Festival. I drove out there and then had to help Jenny cater a wedding out there, but that place was packed. A lot of people were out there. But the ag building is just starting to be the place, the go-to place, and so we need to keep it for our citizens. The fans will make it cooler in there. It's just constantly, our fairgrounds is being upgraded, and the buildings are being upgraded. It's a lot to be proud of, so I think we just need to keep marching on and making that place a place that all people can be safe and proud of to go to.
And I'll, in addition to a motion, I'll go ahead and just say that it also includes a cost savings with the LED lighting and improves the quality of the lighting, and with that, which is a safety item. And I'm pleased that Dustin, that you been responsive to the board's request and that we can do this mid-year. And especially as we get to the 100th anniversary of our fair, we just want things to be improved. We've taken our exhibit buildings and turned them from barns into exhibit buildings, and the back part of the ag building is from a building shell to a usable facility, and something that you don't choke on dust, and there have been some venues or some events where the vendors who were back in the dust, were, especially with T-shirts and things like that, were pretty unhappy. So great effort, and a lot of our thanks go to our maintenance crew, who are unsung heroes. They do an awful lot of the work that doesn't have to be contracted out. In fact, they do all the work that doesn't have to be contracted out, and that makes a big difference. So I would move that we approve the unbudgeted electrical upgrade for the ag building, not to exceed $55,000.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We'll now take this opportunity for the board and our county supervisor to present a brief summary of current events, and we'll start with Manager Welker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. With budget season nearing quickly, we're looking at our finances very closely and watching these revenues come in, and they can continue to come in at a good pace. Our local sales tax is almost exactly flat from last year. The good news is last year was a record year, and we've been waiting for, I think, the last 6 years to see if it would flatten out at some point. So this year it looks like it is flattening out. We're 0.2% ahead of our local sales tax from last year, the numbers we've collected. So that's as flat as it can get, just about. Our state shared sales tax is actually a little different. It's still quite a bit up. For February sales tax, we received $733,000, which is the most we've ever received for state sales tax. And through these first 8 months of the fiscal year, we're about $346,000 ahead of last year, which is about 6.7%. So we're happy to see those state shared revenues still coming in really strong. Just some updates on our buildings, and as I look at these projects, it's good to see Matt and Mike in here. It's the first time I've ever seen them in this meeting, and they're probably here to see us open that central bid project that they've been very, very much involved in. They've also been involved in our Main Street building remodel. The contractor has framed up all the walls, and they'll be looking at sheetrocking this week. Our fairgrounds master plan, we're still working with Bowman on the main water line, which was 60% was the last plans we received, and Eric and Johnny gave some good comments back. We're waiting to hear back from those. In that vein, the board's aware we received some very good news in this past week from Congressman Siscomani's office. We put in a congressional directed spending request well over a year ago to be able to help us build out that main water line, and we received word this last week that we received that request for $1.2 million. So that's a very good thing. That's federal money. Federal grants are a bear to manage, but we'll take that challenge, and we're excited for it. That'll greatly help with our budget and finances over in the fairgrounds as we get after this master plan. So thank you, Board of Supervisors. You are absolutely instrumental in getting that. You have a great relationship with Congressman Siscomani, and kudos to you for that relationship. Thank you. We are working over in the fairgrounds pond. If anyone's been in there, we've dammed off half of that pond, and where the future pump will pump out of the upper pond, we've been deepening that 3 to 4 feet. We were able to get a large 60-foot extend-a-hoe, and our highway department has been out there digging it and hauling off the muck to our boneyard out there. But that is one of the many pieces that needs to happen as we get into this fairgrounds project. So thank you, Steve, and your crew for jumping in on that very quickly. We appreciate it. Our CDBG project, which is about 2,500 foot of sidewalks, SEGO has given us a draft bid package. We're finalizing the plans for that, and we'll be working on that bid package this week and should be getting close to putting that out. Our Armory Road Fairground sign, which is updating our stagnant sign there on Armory Road, is supposed to go up this week, so we'll be keeping a close eye on that. A project that the Superior Court has been working on for about half a decade, and we are helping them out, is to install courtroom pews in the Superior Court. That's something that Judge Peterson has been wanting for quite a while. We were able to work with the Arizona Corrections Industries to get a bid on that, a quote on that, which was very beneficial with nearly free labor, and it came in under our budget. So we signed a contract for that, and we'll be keeping an eye on that project. Hopefully get it done here in the next few months. Continue to work with an architect on our courthouse potential improvements. On March 2nd, we'll have a work session with the board to bring you up to date on what kind of brainstorming we've been looking at for that facility. Central Park will be opening that project, budget up, or that project, those bids here in just a little bit. We received 4 bids for that, which is great. Give another kudos to Mike and Matt for the Weech property. If you look over there across the street, they've done a lot of cleaning. It looks a million times better, and I think they're getting really close to being done with that. So we'll be looking at leasing out that facility. We'll put it out to a competitive bid, and the idea is to lease that property out until the county needs it at some future date. We're out to bid on the ag building installation. I mentioned that there a little while ago. Those bids will be due at our next meeting on March 2nd, and the completion date is by the end of May. And just we are deep into the legislative session right now, and we are answering emails from the County Supervisors Association on a daily basis. And I know it's just not us staff answering it. The board, you are heavily involved in that. There was over 3,000 bills dropped, and there's a lot to go through and a lot of defense being played, and the board's been instrumental in doing that, and I know a lot of you elected officials have too. So thank you. We've received emails from the other electeds, and anything that looks like it'll be a negative effect on your department, on the county, please continue to communicate that with me, and we'll continue to play defense together and protect the county any way we can. That's my report for now, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Manager Welker. Vice Chairman David.
Thank you, Chairman. Busy couple weeks. February 3rd, there was a Substance Abuse Coalition meeting. They're having an activity in upcoming in April, an Easter egg hunt and a family activity to spread the message. There's some concern about the local merchants who are selling items which are illegal, and they're working on getting a letter together and an opportunity to visit with some of the merchants and request that they take those items off of their shelves. On the 4th, there was a National Association of Counties Environment, Energy, and Land Use Committee, which I'm serving on, and had a monthly meeting. And the next day, there was Arizona State Liquor Board hearing for 3 or 4 licenses. And then that concluded in time to allow me and several members of our board to attend the the rededication, the open house of the Cancer Center, reestablishment of the Cancer Center to allow people to receive treatment for just about all cancers. There are some that still get referred to Tucson or Phoenix, but they've improved and increased their capabilities, and that was impressive. And then later that day, there was an Arizona Department of Environmental Quality meeting where they were going over the air quality and emissions controls for Yuma. And why would I be interested in Yuma? It's because there's a very strong correlation. Ag is the same statewide pretty much, and wanted to make sure that they weren't overreaching and creating problems, and they have. They have modified some of their practices to try to meet the state air quality, and that is a continuing concern, and just kind of monitoring that. The next day, our supervisors joined in attending remotely as Dustin talked about, the County Supervisors Association Legislative Policy Committee, where we review the big heavy movers at the legislature, and most of the time about 2/3 of the bills we oppose because they are either trying to remove revenue generation from counties, or preempt our ability for planning and zoning, or to have any kind of a say in large projects. And so those are, and then there's some voting bills that we take a look at and make and try to make sure that they don't. I mean, case in point, one of the bills is asking us to have a voting, to set up voting at every precinct, 23 precincts in our county. We use voting centers where we have 5 or 6, which we've always used, and to try to expand by 400%, both materials, machines, and recruiting and retaining and training staff to man those for a very short period. That just is logistically difficult, and we think that would introduce more errors than it would and the whole idea, the rationale behind it is, if you vote in your neighborhood, everyone knows everyone, and keeps you from having voters who are people stuffing the ballot, so to speak. We haven't had that problem even with our voting centers, and we don't want big city rules, one size fits all, to impact us negatively. And so I'll finish that week with had an opportunity to attend on the Saturday the 4 chaplains tribute at the American Legion, and had a role participating in that tribute. And then the following week there was our Rural Transportation Advocacy Council, which is a subset of CEGO. It's a transportation-related committee and or council, and the existing director has retired. Well, he hasn't retired. He's taken a job at the federal level, and so that's required us to scramble during the legislative session and try to find some leadership. And what they'll end up doing is, I think they're going to hire a lobbyist for a couple of months until they can replace the director to continue to support the transportation bills, which Graham County has a couple. Later that evening, Monday, the February 9th, Safford City Council meeting. Very interesting. Lots of support for the Mr. Bejarano retaining that position, but lots of public support, not enough council support. So he's still interim, and we all of our board was there, and Supervisor Howard spoke in support as a citizen, a businessman, and so we continue to monitor that. We appreciate all that our city manager, Mr. Bejarano, has done, our collaboration, our cooperation moving forward. It just is important, an important decision that's coming up. The following day, and I'm almost done, went to a WIC event, Love Your Baby event at St. Vincent de Paul's, and supported that. They were outreaching to new mothers and mothers with young children. And later that day, wastewater funding webinar, attended that, and then Historical Society meeting, dropped in to see what they were doing. The following evening, Graham and Greenlee serving veterans. There's a stand-down day coming on March 20th for veterans. Please watch for that. And then joined the supervisors at the U of A Cooperative Extension Center for their presentation on Thursday. And then there had I'm the chair of a finance committee for Eastern Counties, and had a review of their finances, and then ended the week with we all joined together again as supervisors at our Friday morning LPC, or Legislative Policy Committee call. We do that on a weekly basis when we don't have a meeting in Phoenix. And that is my report, and sorry for the length. I don't know if it was longer or same as or shorter than Dustin's, but probably not as as impactful. So thank you, though.
Thank you, Vice Chairman. Supervisor Howard.
Paul pretty much covered everything. I would just like to say that I want to give a shout out for our meeting yesterday at the college, and afterwards receiving that 1.2 from Congressman Siscomani. What a great gift that was. And again, our relationship with our representative is second to none. And I want to just compliment Dustin on his presentation. He gave a very good, detailed presentation, and Dustin worked very hard and very precise on writing that grant. And it was, there's only 15 that he has, and I think he said he had 34, if I recall, applications. There might even been more than that. 64. Okay, I knew there's a 4 in there. But we was actually selected to that, and that's our second time doing that. So I just want to thank Dustin for his hard work on that and his expertise on that. Also, I want to give a shout out to Mike and Matt for your work on down at that park, and your resiliency going forward with that. It's going to be a great addition. I know Central isn't the biggest city on the planet, but them folks down there are very much going to appreciate that, and I know you've been working very hard on it, so thank you. Thank you guys for all the work you do around in our county. You're very much noticed and very much appreciated, so thank you very much.
All right. And I don't have a whole lot to add. Everything's pretty much been said, so we're going to go ahead and move on. Do we have anybody for our call to the public today? Okay. We'll now open our bids for the Central Park improvement.
Just real quick while we're opening that up, some people know we have a central park, some don't, and there hasn't been much out there for a long time. The reason we have this park is because 50-plus years ago, there was a school there, and the school donated the property to the county, or we're probably the only ones that would take it, which is more likely. But the agreement was that the neighbors in the neighborhood would water the property with irrigation water and that the county would mow it. It was a pretty simple agreement way back then. The problem is with the scarcity of irrigation water, the neighbors were no longer able to water it, and it's been sitting like that for almost a decade. So it's basically a dirt patch with a basketball court, some old equipment, and a flagpole. So we decided about 2 years ago that we either need to abandon it, take our name off the sign that's sitting out there because it was pretty embarrassing, or make it look like a park. And we felt like we can make it look like a park pretty efficiently, especially with our local talent. I know that's probably hard to see up there, but I want to thank Eric and Johnny for pulling together the plan on it pretty quickly. What this will include is a parking lot. We'll use the millings that we have over at the fairgrounds and bring them over, build a parking lot there in the bottom left corner. We're going to build a 24 by 24 gazebo with sidewalks all around it. We will convert that basketball court into 2 pickleball courts and a half-court basketball court. And then that top left corner where everything used to be grass will still have about 40% of the property. That'll be a pretty large grass field. It's not a huge site. I think it's about 2 acres. Eric, help me out on that. Sounds good. 2 acres. So it's not a lot of property, but with the board's council a couple years ago, we drilled a well. We're able to get some water, so we'll be fed off that well. And Mike and Matt will be running all the electrical for it. They'll be doing all the irrigation system and all of that. So these bids include all of the sidewalks, the 24 by 24 foot gazebo, the fencing, the parking lot, and I think that's about it. Matt and Mike are also going to do the trees and the grass and everything. So anyway, that's an introduction to this project. So we have 4 bids. The first bid is from Diamond 5 Construction, and their bid is total cost $110,259.50. Next one is from Lunt Construction, total cost $147,110. Next one is Elements Construction for $111,092. The next one from On Point Asphalt for $137,078.20. That's it.
All right. Thank you, manager. Can we get a motion on that?
Sure. Chairman Mack, I would move that we go ahead and refer these bids to our to staff for a review for conformity, and then authorize them to award that to the lowest competent and compliant bidder.
I will second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. All right. Our board's gonna, we need to close our meeting and make a motion to go into executive session.
Make a motion to go ahead and move into executive session, Chairman.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
motion for executive session? Is that you or you did?
All right, I want to welcome everybody back. Thank you for your patience with us. Could I get a motion to close our executive session and go back into our regular meeting?
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And can we get a motion on what we discussed in our executive session?
Yeah, Chairman Mack, I would go ahead and make a motion to direct our county manager to go ahead and negotiate a settlement on the animal control facility that was the issue.
And I'll second that. It's the roofing on the animal control.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. All right. Want to thank everybody for coming today, and our meeting will now be adjourned.